Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to clean your setups in 3 easy steps. And we're going to go from something like this to something more like this. Now if you're anything like me, I like to snack at my desk a lot. As you can see, I've got some snacks left out on my desk here, which makes it look like crap. It doesn't look very professional. It looks dirty. It looks horrible like this. And it's actually really easy to make your desk look much better. You can see right here along the edge of my desk, a lot of the paint has come off. A lot of things are kind of moved out of place a little bit, and it just doesn't look good at all compared to what it did when I first built it. So today I'm going to show you 3 very easy steps that you can do in less than 10 minutes to make your setup look brand new again. Now, the first step is going to be to remove any physical clutter from the desk, like this bowl here, that can, and then you got some snacks over there that need to be taken care of. So basically you're just going to be getting rid of any physical objects that don't belong on your desk. Step 2, we're going to vacuum everything here around the floor area, the PC, all of my stuff up here to get all the dirt off of it and all the dust. And then we're going to use some disinfecting wipes and other products to remove all of the germs from it. And then step 3 will be, of course, to correct a lot of the damaged areas of the desk, like this paint right here. The last step is optional, but for me it's a necessary thing to keep me from going insane. So let's get into it. So like I said, the first step is to remove any physical clutter from the desk. So I've got a bowl of old cereal, can of Diet Pepsi, and then we got some stuff here that needs to get thrown away. I have a trash can down there, so remove anything from the desk that doesn't need to be there, even stuff you don't want to throw away, like this pen that I made. Just get it off the desk if it doesn't need to be there. So as you can see, just after doing part of step 1, the desk already looks way better. Even with just that trash removed from the desktop, it looks way cleaner, and that just goes to show how easy this process really is and why this won't take you more than 10 minutes. Okay, for the next part of step 1, what we want to do is kind of realign everything on the desk. So because this desk is kind of short, when I'm sitting in my chair, I kind of bump the desk a lot when I move my legs, and it kind of moves stuff around so it doesn't look nearly as good. So we're going to realign everything back up on the desk, and that should also help it make it look better. So really simple process, just going to realign everything where it's supposed to be. This will help a lot. So we're going to do this. And just like that, after only about a minute, we've already got step 1 completed of this process. You can see all the physical clutter is removed and everything is realigned back up nice and straight like it's supposed to be, and it's already looking way better. If you're lazy, you can just leave it like this and you should be pretty happy. It doesn't look that bad. However, it just doesn't work for me. I gotta do the whole thing, especially because I'm making a video on this. So next is step 2, which we're gonna use the vacuum and the disinfecting wipes and any other kind of spray you have to go through and clean the whole desk and the keyboard, the mouse, pretty much everything that has to do with this setup is going to get disinfected, which is especially good considering the coronavirus crap that's going around right now. So let's get on to that. Ignore the horrible cable management. I'm currently working on 2 videos at once, so it's kind of a mess. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the vacuum, the hose attachment part of it, and we're going to go along the trim of the wall here and around the legs of the desk as well, and underneath the PC. We're going to lift the PC up and get all of that underneath there as well, and just pretty much take this and get everything that you can from the ground. You might actually have to use the whole part of the vacuum to get some of the bigger floor areas here as well, but if you have hardwood floors, you could substitute this step by sweeping. That's much easier, but I've got carpet, so I have to stick with this crap. Sweep around everything like that. Just do the exact same process with a broom instead of a vacuum if you have hard floors. So there you go. As you can see, it looks way better down there with all of those crumbs and everything vacuumed up out of the area down below. Now we're going to come back up top and we're going to take care of all this crap using some disinfecting wipes. Now, I should point out that I would almost always prefer to use a mixture of rubbing alcohol and water in a little spray bottle, but unfortunately, because of all this coronavirus stuff going around, I cannot find rubbing alcohol in any of the stores or in my area, so I'm kind of left to use stuff like this. This is all I could find, but we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna use these wipes right here to go over literally everything on the top of the desk and even the PC down below as well. This will help pick up the dust and as well as remove all the germs off of all this stuff so it's nice and clean, and it'll look amazing when it's done. So we're going to start with the mouse and keyboard, then we'll move over to a lot of the bigger stuff over here as well as the desktop itself. So let's get started with the mouse. So like I said, we're going to start with the mouse here, and first thing we're going to do is actually move this out of the way. We're going to focus on this mat right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off the desk and just shake it off to get all the loose dirt off of it. You can see it's still pretty dirty. So what you can do is sometimes you can just throw these in the washing machine with your clothes and that'll get all the germs off of it, all the dirt and everything, and it'll look brand new. But you can also take these little disinfecting wipes and just clean these things down using these. This is the method that I use usually just because I don't feel like taking this off my desk because my mouse doesn't really work without it. So this is a quick and easy way to do it without actually having to take it off of your desk. So there you go. It's pretty well cleaned. It's back to black. There's that little hair on it. But now this is a little bit damp, so I'm going to take it off my desk and let it dry over on my chair real quick while we focus on the mouse. So the mouse is going to be one of the dirtiest parts of your setup, considering you're pretty much always touching this when you're gaming. So what you want to do is, again, take more of these disinfecting wipes, and you're just going to clean the whole thing down. This is pretty self-explanatory, very easy process, but you want to make sure that when you're doing the mouse and keyboard that you do this thoroughly, because these are the two most touched areas on your setup. You want to make sure you get them nice and clean. Also, when it comes to the scroll wheel on your mouse, you want to make sure you get all of it. So I like to go in a horizontal motion against the wheel while using my other thumb to spin it while I'm cleaning it. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically just do whatever you can to make sure you get the entire scroll wheel. Just don't get part of it. And you're just going to go over the whole thing with these wipes and make sure you get everything thoroughly cleaned. I prefer to do this when the PC is off so you're not clicking stuff on your screen. Otherwise, when you put pressure on it, you're just going to start clicking random stuff all over your computer. So just do that, get this nice and clean, and we can move on to the keyboard, which is a bit more, I guess, difficult. Alright, so next up is the keyboard, of course. And this one is a bit more difficult because obviously you have a lot of little nooks and crannies in there. Now there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how you can actually properly go through and clean a keyboard by removing all of the different keys and cleaning underneath it. But you don't actually have to do that if you just want to simply clean it and get it done with. The way I'm going to do this is just, again, more wipes. You want to start by wiping down the majority of the keyboard that you don't have to get into the little nooks and crannies of. So like, oh, sorry guys. This little bottom part here and along the sides, up top, all that kind of stuff. You want to do this first just so you get this out of the way, a lot of the bigger areas. Now what you want to do, you can see just that little bit there. Look at all that crap we got off of it. Is now, again, I like to do this with the PC off so you're not clicking random keys and doing stuff on your computer that you don't want to do. What you want to do is take your wipe again, is just put some pressure down and wipe all the key tops off. These are the most dirty parts of the keys that there's a lot of dirt you can't see. So you want to make sure you're putting pressure down as you're doing it and go through and wipe it down thoroughly. Don't put too much pressure because you don't want to break your keyboard, of course. That's pretty obvious. But just make sure you do give it some pressure so you're actually removing the dirt off of the keys. So do that for all the key tops, and then we'll focus on getting into the little crevices here. Alright, I got all the key tops cleaned off. They're still kind of drying a little bit, but that's fine. So now we're going to clean the little crevices between each key. Now to do this, you're going to need some sort of fine-pointed object like a screwdriver, flathead, or you could even use something like a car key or even your phone charger if you don't have either of these two things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a disinfecting wipe, we're going to fold it in half, and then fold it in half again, kind of like this. And then take the screwdriver and just put the tip in there, and then just hold it like this. You kind of just want to wrap the end of the screwdriver in the disinfecting towel. Now what we can do is we can take this and use this to get in between each key. Kind of like this. See how this is working? Now, this is going to take a bit more time than the last step just because there's a lot of different little channels you have to get in between each key, and it's going to take some time. But don't rush this process because you can see just one layer of keys and it's already turning this white disinfecting towel kind of brownish yellow color, which is disgusting. But that's the point. We're going to get all those germs off, all the dirt off this keyboard as much as possible, and then I'm going to go through and do this off camera just for my sake, because this is kind of annoying reaching over my camera as I'm doing this. So I'm going to go do all of this. You can kind of see what we're doing here. Just take the towel wrap screwdriver and just get in between each little key here. I'm going to clean everything out, and then I'll be back once I finish this. Alright, so while the keyboard and mouse are drying, we're going to go over here and start focusing on the monitor and the lamp. So these parts are pretty easy. Again, the wipes, of course. We're going to take these, as per always, and we're just going to wipe the whole thing down. Now, these have the tendency to leave streaks on the monitor's screen portion. So what you could do if you don't want streaks on there at all, you could just use some actual like window cleaning stuff like Windex here, or you could use like lens cleaning wipes. They make them, which is just pretty much alcohol soaked wipes. But again, I couldn't find anything like that in my area, so I'm just going to have to stick with this and Windex to clean it off. So pretty simple process. We're going to do the same thing for the lamp as well. Just wipe everything down with these, make it nice and clean, and then we'll move on to the next process. Next, we're going to talk about the microphone and the headphones right there. The reason I'm mentioning these parts separately is because these have a very high tendency to get dirty very quickly, because obviously you're going to be talking to the microphone, you could spit on it and get all that crap on there, and the headphones are almost always on your head where they can get grease and hair product and all that crap on there as well. So you want to pay extra attention to these parts right here to make sure you get all of the germs off if at all possible. See, on my microphone here, I'll bring it over here, it has a little foam windscreen on it, or a little pop filter. This is something you could probably throw in the washer as well with the mouse pad if you choose to do so, because this is going to be kind of hard to clean with these wipes, because this foam is very porous, and these just, I don't know, it's not exactly the most efficient way to clean this. So I'd recommend washing these in some sort of water kind of wash, like a washing machine, or just wash it by hand in the sink or something like that, and then dry it off with like maybe a hair blower, and then that would be the best way to clean these most likely, because again, it's not very practical to wash it with a little disinfecting wipe. So this is a very dirty part. I'd recommend you actually take the time to clean this properly, so just make sure you do that. And looking at my microphone now, it's very dirty, even under the part where the foam was at, so I'm going to clean all of this off as well. So same process as before, just take the wipes and wipe literally every single part of all of this down, including the headphone stand, including my microphone's boom arm, and the shock mount as well. So I'm going to do that real quick and be right back. Now with all of the major components of the setup completely cleaned off, we're going to go ahead now and clean off the actual desktop itself. So we're just going to take some more wipes, just go along and clean the actual top of the desk. You might want to lift up the keyboard, there's probably a lot of crap underneath that. Lift everything up, take the monitor off, take the headphone stand off, and take the mic arm off to get underneath it as well. We want to get all the dirt off of this if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, so the top of the desk is now nice and cleaned off. It looks pretty pristine. There are a few areas here, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, where the paint has come off a little bit over the past few months of use. You got spots like right here, there's a few over here as well, but we're going to fix that in the next step, so don't worry about that. Right now we're going to go down to the bottom of the setup again, down to the PC, and you can see it's covered in dust. There's a lot of dust on the top of it, especially on the capture card here. So once again, just take some more of the cleaning wipes, and we're just going to wipe the whole PC down. And while we're down here, we're also going to go ahead and wipe off all of the legs of the desk and like this drawer area here. Basically just want to clean the entire desk that you don't see on the top. And just like that, the PC is nice and clean as well as the rest of my desk. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to step 3, where we're going to go ahead and fix up some of the damage that I have on my desk here, like this paint chipping. So let's go ahead and do that. So like I said, this is step 3, the final step, where we're going to detail the desk and fix up any little imperfections that we can find, like this right here. So this is pretty common on parts of desks where you like to rest your arms. Sometimes when I'm typing, I rest my arms right here. And this is also a pretty cheap desk, so this is pretty common on cheaper desks that are low quality like this. So how we're going to fix this is we're going to use a paint pen. I'm using a Sharpie branded one with a medium tip on it. So you can see here, it's just a little thing, little marker. We're going to use this to fill in for these little marks here. It's not the exact same shade of white. This is a bit brighter. This desk is a bit faded because of the use that it's had over the few months that I've owned it. So it's not going to look exactly the same, but it'll look much better like this. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, you just have to run the marker against it like this. And you can see it's covering up all that little exposed fake wood that they use to make these desks. So you're just going to do that along the entire length of the desk where you need to. Pretty much the entire room of my desk looks like this, so I'm going to have to go and do the entire thing, which is going to be a pain, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, and once I'm done, I'll be back. Now, I forgot to mention I'm also going to use the same process for little chips like this in the paint. Just again, use the paint pen like a marker. Just use it to fill in any little imperfections. Now, on camera, it looks like it's really vibrant against the desk. In person, it doesn't quite look as bad. You don't really notice it nearly as much as you do on camera. I mean, if you look at this corner right here that was damaged before, it looks way better now. And you can't even really notice that it was ever changed. So I'm going to go fix a few more imperfections on the desk, and then I'm going to take care of the final step of the final step. And just like that, all the paint imperfections are now fixed. The good thing about this process is that if you have a colored desk like I do, like it's just a simple white desk, it's very easy to repair with those paint markers. That paint marker probably cost me about $3 at Walmart to fix all of this imperfection. So it's a really great way to fix paint issues if you have a simple colored desk like this. Even wood grain desks are pretty easy to fix as well, assuming the scratches are small. You just get like a brown paint marker and fix it that way. So now the last thing we're going to do here is fix up some of the cables that are kind of everywhere. Like this one right here has a cable clip that came off, so we're going to go ahead and fix this and reroute all the cables and make it look a little bit nicer than it does right now. So we're going to fix this by moving this back a little bit. I happen to know that this isn't going to work out very well because... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this cable clip off because it's not very sticky and my hot glue gun is not at my house right now, so I can't fix this. So I'll set that aside for later. Right now, I'm just going to take these cables and route them without the clip. I hate to do that, but I don't think it'll be that noticeable. I hope it won't be. What I'm doing over here is I'm taking my mouse cable and I'm routing it underneath the little stand for my keyboard so that it doesn't go out over here. So just set it up like this, and it doesn't look the best without that cable clip helping it, but it could look worse. So I'm going to go through and fix a few other cables and a couple little minor things, and then once I'm done, I'll show you guys the finished product of my freshly cleaned and detailed desk. Well guys, there you have it. This is the finished product of my freshly cleaned and detailed setup. You guys can see it looks so much better right now. Everything is nice and clean. This could probably use a washing, I'll be honest. Everything is nice and clean. It looks way, way, way better. All the dust is gone. We vacuumed everything down there. PC is not covered in dust, which is bad for it anyways. And all of this crap right here is nice and fixed up. So as you can see, it looks way nicer than the original. We used about half of that container of wipes to clean everything down, which is very, very cheap. It's probably about $1 worth of those wipes, and that's really all I used that I had to buy. So for 10 minutes and $1, you can clean your desk and make it look super, super nice, just like this. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all